welcome back to your favorite podcast. We are
Two Cooks
and One Server. You have me, Logan, our great friend Ace and Steve, and we're going to talk to you about some very important topics today. At least to me. I mean, you guys might not care, but I care. So.
Okay, so a topic today are mental health in the workplace and hooking your friend up with a job. So, want to start with the mental health issue one, and we'll go for the job one.
I mean, I want to take the shots.
You always forget.
I remember once.
This is your thing. This is your thing.
So we're gonna start with shots and then do something.
The day you remember to take a shot at the beginning is the day we just are done.
Oh, I actually did once. The last 20 questions we did, I remembered.
That was 20 questions. Not doing the show, though.
You have not.
Fine.
Yeah, you haven't
Anyway.
done the show.
To Steve's terrible memory.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ugh. I still don't like shots. I don't know why you guys keep making me do this.
It's fun.
I'm lying to
I
myself.
mean, it totally is fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, mental health. We all have it.
I mean, for sure we all have it. It's even worse, like, we're just working in the restaurant industry, because you're literally don't know if you're a server, how much you're going to make the next day or how much you're going to make today. Like, it's so much uncertainty in this business. Like, if your business is going to collapse, especially right now in this COVID time, like, a restaurant can easily go down just because they're not having the right safety measures or whatever's going on.
I think that's it's one of the biggest drawbacks, but it's also one of the biggest, like, pulls to the industry. My biggest thing is, like, I don't have a steady paycheck. I don't have this is your hourly rate, this is your 9 to 5, you're going to get the same paycheck every week. But that's also the draw to me, because it's like, I mean, like, you generally make A, B, C, like, as a waitress or whatever. Like, you have your bad days and you have your good. But the biggest pull for me is there's that potential to do a great night and to do better. Because we all have those, like, really dope-ass nights that, like, make it worth it. So,
yeah, for sure.
So it's like, I could be working, like, at a steady salary job, but there is the potential, the chance to do better. And I think that's probably also, like, with mental health, that we're all gamblers.
I mean, yeah. Easily.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
One of my problems, I think, with mental health is I myself personally can't deal with people on a normal basis, so I'm, like, forcing myself to, like, be a people person when I'm at work, and it fucks with me mentally all the time, and, like, I gotta be not myself.
Oh yeah, and that's even, like, for cooks and stuff. Like, I get you guys have to do that, but can you imagine, like, serving is so much more. You really have to, because you're catering to someone else constantly.
Yeah.
You are not worrying about yourself. Yourself don't matter. Like, your bathroom breaks, they don't matter. You're hungry, that don't matter. You are so unimportant that everyone else is, like, because that's your job. Like, you put everything else first.
Sure,
and then like, I think it does really carry over into, like, your home life too, that you're so used to, like, catering to other people that you forget yourself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that sucks. And, like, putting on a facade to being like, I have to be, because of my job, personable and smiley. And anyone in, like, a customer service industry, not even, like, serving anything, but just any interactions with, like, for job wise, you have to put on that facade. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a bad day, you leave your problems at the door.
Yep.
Yeah, and it teaches you to, like, bury them down. Like, literally at my job, they literally tell you, like, leave your issues at home kind of thing. But I mean, that's probably not the healthiest. Like, you have to, because it's your job and what you have to do. But just putting on that facade and smiling and talking and pretending to be like, I give a shit about your day. No, I don't. Can you talk about me, though? Yeah, that's just probably, like, the biggest, hardest thing to do. Because, like, we all have home lives, we all have other issues. But I think a part of mental health is you acknowledging when there's a time to deal with you, and there's also mental health of acknowledging that there are times when you do have to not care about your own issues. So it's like a fine balancing act, like, of what's okay.
I was, like, looking up earlier, like, 1 out of 5 people have mental health issues, and it's even worse with the restaurant industry.
Hi, these are our guests right now.
And yeah, like that's crazy. Like more people aren't getting it treated, and it's just going to get worse and worse over time.
Well, Steve, how do you feel like you've been dealing with the whole like Corona situation with your job? Yeah, like how has it affected you and like how your feelings are? So I think it has had like a biggest toll, especially with us where it's like uncertainty. Like I know at least in our state, in our area, that we did get closed down for a second. We were all like just out of jobs, and anyone who works in the restaurant industry, like we're not. I'm not saying we're bad set up, but in general, we're not like, oh, we have savings out the ass, we're doing this, doing this. Like, it is kind of a...
And a lot of people in the restaurant industry don't have savings.
No, a lot of people go paycheck to paycheck constantly.
Yeah, and I mean, shit happens too. Like, for me, like, I had savings, but right before the Corona happened, I had, like, medical issues that kind of depleted that. And then it's like this, and it's kind of stacked upon. So I know that this is, like, a hard thing to kind of deal with. So how have you been... like handling it?
I mean, I did pretty well financially. I did somehow manage to save a decent amount of cash beforehand, so I wasn't too bad off. I guess mentally, how I dealt with it, I did pretty good. I was going to school at the time, so I pretty much had, for the whole month of April, that's pretty much all I focused on was just school, so that kind of distracted me from it.
That's nice to have like a time
keeper. It did distract me, but come May, when things started back up, I really easily transitioned for me. It wasn't super bad, but then again, I was lucky, I guess I can say, because I didn't have nothing to do for a whole month and be like questioning how am I gonna have a paycheck, am I gonna pay my bills, what's gonna happen to me. I sort of had a safety net set up for something, but
you're smart and you plan ahead.
I did, but a lot of people can't afford to do that.
Not everyone has that luxury of that. Our life was in different places before it happened. Like, I was okay, but if like I know in my life in past that if Corona had hit in a different time period of my life, it would have been so much different.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, there was a solid month where I was like, this is great, this is fantastic, I'm balling, I have like a month off. Because for one, if you work in the restaurant industry, you do not have time off. You don't get vacations. You don't get the luxury of having days off in a row. It's like you work, you have like, if you do have 2 days off a week, it's like a Monday, Thursday.
Yeah, it's during week. Our Fridays or Sundays.
We don't get weekends.
So that first month, I think it was a big balancing act of being like, let's party, I got time off work.
Quarantine parties.
Like quarantine. Well, we did not do that. Bad.
No.
Yeah, we didn't.
We didn't.
Did not. Well, I mean, I feel like it's almost okay if it's like you're gonna be around these people every single day anyway.
Very true.
Like, because these are our family. Like, families quarantined together, right? But anyway, so yeah, I think it was like a big swing of like there for like the first month, because unemployment did kick in a little bit. That helped. Like, I wasn't saying that unemployment was like the best. In our state, at least, we got like a little bit of a boost. So the extra money did help. I would say I still was making less than what I would have been like going to work, but it also kind of offset because I was spending less because I was stuck at home. So like I'm not really spending money, just being stuck at home. Yeah. So like I picked up cooking a lot, so I was saving money. So I didn't really DoorDash. Like I did DoorDash a lot, but I also picked up cooking and doing those kind of things. Yeah. So like I felt like I was saving money, even though I was making less, I was saving money, so it kind of worked out the same for at least me. But yeah, that month was hard because I was like partying it up, and then after like 2 or 3 weeks of that, you're like, oh, we're in an actual issue. How do we deal with this? Because you get caught up in like, oh, it's any kind of lifestyle thing. You get caught up in the glitz and the glamour, and then you're like, oh shit, actually this is a problem. We should not, this is not how life should be going.
Not how life should be.
And then after a couple of months of that, you're like, oh, this is, shit's real, shit hit the fan.
Like life just changed for everybody. Like,
and it wasn't even like, at least in our state, it wasn't it wasn't a thing. We went from having a bulletin in our break room that it was like, oh, in your state of Virginia, there are 6 cases in the state, and literally 2 days later, it was like, shit hit the fan, we're closing down. Like, and because like our manager was like, oh, don't worry about it, wash your hands, there's 6, and then like 3 days later, it was like, okay, yeah, we're closed.
Yeah, everybody's closed.
Everyone's furloughed.
Yeah. Because they try to, like, at least I know with my job and stuff, they try to talk it up, like, oh, it's not that big a deal, everyone calm, remain
stay
calm,
positive,
stay
yeah.
positive. And I mean, I get that, like, places you're supposed to do that. I get that, like, mental health issues, you're trying to talk people up, you're not trying to scare people. But
Because
at the
people
same,
are literally losing jobs.
but at the same time, I feel like we were unprepared for what hit me with my mental health and stuff. I would as a person prefer them to like be real with me and be like, oh, okay, so this is a bit more serious than what we're telling you. So I feel like I was kind of like blindsided by the whole, like, because they were trying to be like, oh, it's fine, and then 2 days later, like, nope, you're out of a job, sucks to suck.
I felt like there was not enough information out there for everybody to have the right information, because there was like different sides of every story, and everybody's getting different parts. So maybe they just got one of the shittier parts of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life, but that really affected like my mental, that it was so just like blindsided kind of stuff, and that really hurt me because I was like, as a mental health, like if you do deal with like anxiety and that kind of stuff, being blindsided really
It fucks you up.
hurts a lot. Yeah, like no one likes to be blindsided, but especially if you are dealing with mental health issues in the restaurant industry, that was a left
I think
fielder.
anxiety is like a huge part of like the restaurant industry, because I get anxiety all the time. I mean, people don't know that, but I literally get anxiety all the time, and I'll lose track of time, and like I just can't think straight, and it's fun. It's crazy. And
Oh, anxiety is so bad, especially in the restaurant industry. I feel like the restaurant industry builds you to have anxiety.
Yeah. It's all fast paced.
We have all had that dream where we woke up at 2 a.m. and it's like, I didn't bring my tip or wrench.
Or you hear the
or
ticket printer.
like you just hear the ticket printer, or
I've
you're
heard
like
that many
you're
times.
like you're in a job, and like you do something so many times, like you're doing that in your dreams, and like you wake up like, oh shit, I'm making pancake batter. Like
Yeah, no, I definitely have the dreams a lot where it's like I'm in a restaurant and there's so many tables and they all need a Mountain Dew and I can't keep up and the phone's ringing and the DoorDash is dinging. I have those dreams all the time, completely. I hear that telephone in my sleep.
That
I think one of the worst one is like on your day off, you wake up and you think, oh shit, I'm late to
Like,
work.
Yeah, you're like, oh no,
I
I'm
think
off
that's like
today,
the
it's
worst
fine.
one.
This is my first day off in 3 weeks, it's fine.
Yeah.
And like, dude, like I would say, I go back to my previous thing where like the whole restaurant industry with mental health is you just cater to other people so much that you don't take time to cater to yourself.
No,
So
that's
be
true
nice
as
to your
fuck.
servers. We have lives too. Please just be kind.
Yeah.
Like there has been so many days where I've just tried to put on my, because I try to do the best for you, especially with my job. I try to put on my best face every day and go out there because I'm like, I keep in mind too, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your life is. You may have had a shit day. So even if you're being cranky, I try to like make it better. But I wish people would be a little bit more reciprocal in that mindset.
No, for sure.
And I mean, there are great people. There are great, I'm not talking about like all
It's
customers.
not all customers.
No,
but-
like obviously if it was all customers, we wouldn't do this.
Mhm.
But there
the
are
rate-
those few that you want to be like, knock, knock, sir. I have a heart. I am a human. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm out here just making money.
And they're just a manager for things that are completely out of your control. Like the temperature of the restaurant, the lighting, whatever. What stations on the television, like, server didn't pick that. Not at all.
We have, like, people think we have so much control. Like, even cooks, servers, like, people think we have so much control. We don't. It's not my choice. I'm doing the best for you that I can.
We all have like guidelines of way of doing things, and
Yep.
we try to stay on that path.
And of course, every restaurant's a little different too. So if you went to like TGI Fridays, they're not gonna do the same thing at Hooters or like whatever you're gonna work at
Yeah,
or where
it's
you're
not the
going
same.
to. Not at all.
I feel bad because I feel like my job, I have a little more leeway to be like a butthole. Kind of. But literally, like the other day, I had this customer walk in, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's so cold in here." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. I'm freezing." Can you turn it up? No.
I think they keep it cold for your restaurant. They keep you guys moving though. I think that's a ploy.
Okay. Well, I know at least for cooks too. My restaurant, we have like kind of two separate. Like we have like a back of the house and a front of house like temperature.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is if the back of the house and the front of house temperature is not set to like similar, like the same, it fucks with our AC. We've had 2 AC replacements in like the 3 years I've worked there.
Wow.
Because it puts stress on the other ACs.
Yeah,
They're like
no,
fighting
it
each other.
totally
It's kind of
does.
like with your house. If it's cold outside and you have the heat running, you leave your door open. Like, that's dumb. You're not
Yeah.
going to do that. So in a restaurant, it sucks because you have the kitchen, which is hot. You have your grill, you have your fryers. Like, it's hot as shit back there. But then up front, when you don't have that heat in your face, it's cold. But they can't
They can't
heat stroke the cooks
Mm-mm.
just to make us happy.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
so
no,
if it's
there was times on our job, like I felt like they got that heat on, and I'm like, yo, yeah, I know y'all can turn that shit down, right? Like, it's hot as fuck back here.
You can put a fan in the kitchen, blow that hot air into the dining room. It'll work. It could work.
But that kind of goes to mental health too, is that you're dealing with so much at the same
that's it.
time, and it's like so stressful
A lot of
to
stress.
try to keep everyone happy. It's very hard on your mental to like, because you have to take a step back and look at it from other people's perspective as well, which is a good like mental life
Like, and
kind
it's
of
hard
thing.
to do that in like heat of the moment type moments
Yeah.
sometimes, because like y'all can just be like in the middle of the weeds, and like, do you really have time to think about like what their point of view at that time? Like, that's why like so many people like lash out at other people, and then that makes that person feel some type of way, and that can ruin their day. Like, they'll think they can take that shit personally.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
mental
like,
health in
that
a
mental
restaurant,
health
like
is fucked.
we are all so we have the most fucked up relationship with our coworkers. Like, because I will yell at you, I will cuss you up and down the wall, and then we're gonna go out for drinks and be like, it's cool, it's fine. Like, no
Yeah,
big
fine,
deal,
yeah.
I get you.
Literally, like, we're
Yeah.
over here dapping up each other at the end of the day and shit, and like shooting the shit, laughing
Yeah.
at each other.
Like, I
Like,
will
2 hours later,
scream at
literally
you.
yelling
I'm
at
in the
me.
back, like, crying, like, fucking get your table! And then it's like the next day, it's like, it's fine. We respect it. So I honestly feel like restaurant workers are the most diverse and like resilient people in the entire world.
Oh yeah.
Like, a lot of people say that you should do like the 2 years in the military thing. No, you should do 2 years in a fucking restaurant.
No, I feel like every
Therapy.
person should at least do a year of restaurant industry.
Therapy, fewer wars.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd
Yeah.
be better for everybody.
Like,
Like,
I
that's the
respect
people.
the whole like, yeah, you should do 2 years in the military. No, you should do 2 years in a customer service and have a Karen yell at you because
A hired Karen, not just some random, no person trained professional to like get in your ass.
yeah, no, you should.
Mhm.
It's the way, especially when it's like if you just go in with a bad day and you did everything perfectly and they
Mhm.
still said, "Oh my God, my burger was not the way I wanted it. You didn't tell me,"
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like shit. You will beat yourself up, and I think that's why we have more anxiety too, because it's like at the end of the day, your livelihood revolves around someone else. Like, unless you own your own business, you're doing something that's like most people, but it gives you the restaurant industry sets you up to have a bad time with anxiety.
No, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
And like, how do you guys feel as cooks? Like, what are your kind of issues that like you can't, I guess, control that gives you like worries?
One of the things, like I probably said it on another show, is like kids nowadays, they just don't have the same work ethic like they do back like when I came in, or even like 7-8 years ago. The kids nowadays, like you can't like yell at them the way you used to be able to yell at somebody. Like, yeah, you gotta be so gingerly nowadays. This is one of the things, like I was saying, like I can't talk the way I want to talk, and I had to like a few years ago, I had to rework how I do my job as a manager, because I literally just can't deal with people the way it used to be, and it's crazy, man.
That's
It's like, yeah, I really used to have bad anxiety off that shit for like the longest time because of it.
I feel bad because I hate when like boomers and stuff call us snowflakes. So I'm like, no, we're not. But at the same time, I find myself wanting to call people like 2 or 3 years younger and be like, a snowflake, like get over it.
You know what's really bad when you
But at
talk.
the same time, I think we were that way too. I don't think it's like a whole like. I disagree. I don't think it's a generational thing. I don't think people have changed that much. I think it's the point that we have more life experience and we have gained knowledge.
Nah,
And I really do. I think that's the same way, because someone who has the same life experience and the same time dealing with these issues, that you've had growth. Because
I get that.
because I'm pretty sure, you know, like I would like to say when I was 18 that I was not like that. I would love to be like, no, I was not that person. I was not that person.
See, like,
But at the
there's
same time,
exceptions to
I
the rule.
probably was. There,
No,
like
yeah.
I probably was. So I think it's more of a we're just older. Like every person, like when you see someone like a couple years younger than you, you're like, yeah, no, fuck you, you're terrible. But then when you look back, you're like, okay, maybe that's how people our age now felt about me when I was 16, 17, 18 kind of stuff.
Steve, what you think?
I can't really say because, okay, so as far as safety concerns, how that shaped people, there's less warning labels on things. So people back in like the 60s and 70s who worked, people who are the boomers nowadays, they didn't have a lot of safety concerns. Therefore, they got into more nitty gritty shit, got more like dirt in their hands and whatever. Didn't complain about it. Their pay though, reasonably for the time, was actually a lot more than this today. Because adjusted for inflation and like just the time inflation, whatever, $5.25 an hour translates about $20 an hour today. And they claim that they barely had enough money to pay their bills. $20 an hour, fuck you, pay your bills. Bullshit. Also, if you're more susceptible to getting things like asbestos poisoning and shit, like that's also going to shape your future later on down the road. You find out 20 years ago or 20 years afterwards, like, hey, I could have gotten lung cancer from breathing in fucking shards of asbestos in my lungs. Like that, of course, is going to shape you later on down the road. You're going to look back and say, I didn't die from almost getting lung cancer. So these kids right here who have to wear gloves and safety masks when they have to go to the same job I did and complain about the heat in a certain building they're working in, or possibly other safety features that are actually going to save their lives, but they're complaining about it. It's going to, I feel like it will have a mental toll on the person who is 65 years old, reminiscing about doing the same job when they're 20 years old. It's definitely going to change someone.
Went to school uphill both ways in snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those situations, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's important for, like, any kind of thing. Like, just take time to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shit, I took this week off work because I had a bad mental health week.
I wish I could do that.
Well, you're also in the managerial position, though, so...
Yeah.
I still wish I could do that.
Like, as much as I bitch about managers, you guys have it so much worse. It's much worse. I would like to say that, like, no, you guys suck, but no, it's worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I did not go into management when it was offered, because I was like,
Same.
I did realize that, no, that's
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
much
good money.
harder.
Mm-hmm. Money's
It's good
very
money,
good.
but
It's
at the
very
same
good.
time, everyone's different.
At what cost? Though?
At what cost? You have to look and be like, is this right for my
Mm-hmm.
situation?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I got a pretty good setup. Like, it's not that bad.
True.
Like, it's been better though. Like, and the biggest thing with mental health is people are like, oh, just because you're having issues, everyone does. Like, everyone does. Don't be
Sure.
afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. Like, don't feel that pressure. A lot of people in the restaurant industry feel pressured by managers and coworkers and everything to, like, just perform and to go balls to the wall hard all the time.
Burn yourself
Like,
out.
never call out. Pick up shifts. I need you to be here at this day and this time and, like, do the shit. And, like, if you don't pick up the shift that we need covered, you're a fucking asshole. Like, that was the biggest progress I've made in my life this year, that I have learned to say no. So just say no. Like, I stopped working as much as I would, because there's been times, like, you don't know, your server, like, I swear to God, they have worked for the past 20 days in a row. Because it happens. Like, people call
Yeah,
and
it
get
happens
sick.
all
Like,
the time. Man.
it
That's
happens all the
interesting.
time. They've been working for 20 days in a row. They work doubles, open to close. Like, my open to close is 17 hours. I have been on my feet, running around, getting ranches for 17
Sometimes
hours.
you're doing it again the next day.
Exactly.
And yeah, you open, you clopen, like, no, like, you have no sleep schedule, you have, and everyone in the restaurant industry, you don't have a set schedule. Your schedule every week changes. You may have Wednesday off, next week you'll have Monday off. Like, there's no, like consistency.
The only consistent is you're working weekends. That's the only consistency.
You're working weekends. Yeah, you're working weekends.
Friday through Sunday, show up with a smile, or else.
Yeah, and that's that pressure. That's that pressure. So, like, don't let yourself get caught up in the... I mean, obviously you have to have kind of like a repertoire. Like, yes, you have to be a good worker and do that. But every once in a while, like, it's not a bad thing to say no and to do what's best for you.
But if you're so conditioned to push yourself, saying no feels wrong, though. Ain't that fucked up?
Well, I mean, it also sucks because in the restaurant industry, a lot of people don't have insurance to seek out help. Or to...
That's very true, yeah. A lot of people
That
can't
is
afford it.
really true.
Doesn't matter if you're sick with the flu or whatever, you legitimately cannot afford a doctor's visit. You can't. You just go Google search, go to drugstore, pick up whatever you can, and hope to God
and then you get there, yeah.
fix yourself
And the
up.
problem is, like, if you don't have insurance, but yet your job requires you to have a doctor's note, even though it's like, oh yeah, I know I just had like the stomach bug or something, I'm fine the next day. No, you need a doctor's note.
That's a $300 doctor's note right there.
Yeah,
It really
that's
is.
what it is. Like
Like
for
that.
people without insurance, like
Mhm.
my roommate went to the doctor for like a ear infection or something. It was like a $600 bill because she didn't have insurance, but you needed a doctor's note. So what's that? That's like you're taking a week's worth of pay
Just to prove that
just
you were
to
sick.
prove that you were okay.
Versus coming into work while you're sick and getting other people sick. It's ridiculous.
Which I think that's a big thing that
Mhm.
honestly I thought that the corona would improve that people would be like, oh, like take your time, do this, but no, it's
Mhm.
made it so much worse.
Yeah.
Like I have really bad anxiety and
Mhm.
I have bad like stomach issues. So the other day I went to work and I was just having like bad morning. I got really like anxious. I had issues, so I kind of threw up, and it just so happened to be in the break room, and the manager saw it. So I was not sick. I was fine. I was like, no, we're good. Like I can go to work. Like it's chill. But they made me leave and go get a doctor's note when I was like, no, I'm just having like, I'm fine. Give me some toast. I'll calm down. Like it's chill.
I could see sending you home, but I don't think like the whole doctor.
No,
like,
she made me
she
like
knows-
I
she knows
because
you're
Yeah.
clearly sick.
I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, no,
sometimes,
I was just having like an issue. It wasn't like a, oh my god, I'm super sick. I was just having an issue for the moment, but
That's
I
like
had to.
another thing about like.
I had to go to
nowadays.
work, and I had to get a doctor's note before I could come back to work. So I missed
Now that's
2
ridiculous.
days of work because I had to. For one, I had to go spend money to go to the doctor, and I mean I have insurance, so that was fine. But that was still like $40 to go to the doctor to get the doctor's note when I
Mhm.
and they told me what I already knew.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's just like, and I think that should be like a different clause. That's like, I mean,
Like if the manager can clearly tell that you are sick, you don't need a note or something like that. Like how someone with a brain in their skull can kind of ascertain. Like they should kind of like supersede company policy just to save the employee.
and I know
money
with
and
the
stuff.
corona now, if you're sick, she had to fill like a whole thing. It was like, what are your symptoms? Like, what are, and I'm like, none.
Wow.
None. And she's like, well, why did you come to work if you're being sick? I wasn't sick. It just now happened. So it's like, it's a whole thing that, like, there's no good answer. I'm not
Yeah.
saying there's a better answer. There's no good answer. And that's the kind of, like, messed up situation that there's not. You can't.
Yeah, there totally is one. Oh,
It's almost like a loaded question. Yeah. The
Life
answer.
I mean-
sucks. We suck. It all sucks.
go see a psychiatrist, I guess. That's the best thing you can do.
Well, get a better
Yeah.
job. Get some insurance.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like, that's
I mean, you can't go to a psychiatrist if you don't got insurance.
Very
I feel
true.
like we're gonna like chop and cut like half of this bitch fest.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
All right,
Actually, wait.
so
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, no worries.
let's take a second.
Into
So next segment.
Yeah.
So
I forgot what we were gonna talk about.
getting
This is how
someone,
great I'm doing.
hooking up a friend with a job.
Oh fuck
No,
that! I
hold
don't
on.
like my friends.
Mm-hmm. So it works out pretty well. You have a friend who needs a job, and your job needs a dishwasher. Seems like a perfect setup, right? So, Ace, have you ever had a hookup friend up with a job, place you work at?
Oh,
Besides me.
beside you?
Besides me.
Because he is probably.
I love that
the-
this was like this actually happened, guys. Yeah.
This is like
It actually was, yeah.
probably the best pickup I ever did for a person, like or for like the business
Yeah.
because
I've been there,
yeah,
8
he's
years?
8 years, and
8 years.
8 years.
He's been.
I know.
God damn,
probably
that's like a
one
whole
of the best
child.
Yeah.
Your job is going to school now. They're in 2nd grade.
Yeah, for
Pretty
sure.
much. Yeah.
So let's say
God
not
damn.
you. Let's say not you. All right. So I
Besides
got
me.
another guy. All right. So one of my friends hit me up and was like, "Oh, you need cooks?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I do." And like, I only want people that work hard. So and they were like, "Oh yeah, he works really hard." And like, he just got out of this job or whatever. And I'm like, "All right, bet," and bring him over. And he worked for like a month straight, like super hard. He was like a really great worker. And I was like, man, like this dude got some promise. All right. Like he was washing dishes for us and stuff.
It's sad that a month in the restaurant industry is like a good run.
Yeah.
Right, it's
like-
It's such a revolving
Yeah.
A long
door,
time.
Yeah, a month is
It's
fine.
it is such a
If
day-to-day
you could la- yeah, if you
industry
could last a
that if you
month-
left them.
Like you probably gonna be there for a little bit. Like, that's how I
Yeah,
feel.
at least a year or something.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't learn your name before a month. Honestly, I don't learn your
I am
name.
terrible with names.
Dude,
Like-
guy.
Hey, you with the face.
I
Hey,
stopped
hey,
that
babe.
one.
It's like, hey,
I get in trouble for that one.
I
Like,
forgot your
guess
name.
people
What's it
get
again? You
offended.
just started working here. Like, but not really knowing names, no.
Yeah, but like seriously, for a month, that's
Alright, so yeah.
That itself is depressing.
He was there for a month. And then, like, we got him online, and because he was originally washing dishes, he was doing pretty good. And then, like, there was a switch that just happened in his head, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to not be as good anymore. I don't know if, like, he outside of work was, like,
Maybe he
started
was having
doing...
mental health issues.
Yeah, but that's he was doing something.
We talking about Tina?
Yeah, we're
Probably
totally
drugs.
talking about Tina.
Probably drugs.
And,
We do a lot of
yeah,
drugs.
Tina, that's what we're talking about.
Talking about Tina.
Does
And,
Tina twerk? That's probably what he's doing in the back, so washing dishes.
I mean, he probably did that too, actually.
I didn't witness anything, but
I wouldn't even put it past him, to be honest with you. But yeah, he was, he ended up being there for quite a while, like 2 years.
But
2-3 years or something. But
he was probably.
But he was only good for a month, but he was there for 2 years.
He was great for a month, and
he was
then after
great. Like, yo, alright, so he was not as great. He, like, was steadily okay.
But was he actually, like, a good friend of yours, though?
Not really.
No, he
Friend of a friend.
We're talking
definitely
about-
not a friend.
We're talking about getting friends jobs.
A friend hooked us up with this individual.
Yeah,
So-
like one of my good friends put me on this person to get him in. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Well, actually, I've got like a couple friends jobs and it's never worked out. They haven't been like good friends, but they've been like that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because we always want to think better of our friends.
Very true.
Yeah,
Because
for
we
sure.
have a skewed perspective because it's like, you know, you can be a great homie, but work ethic is different. To
No,
being,
it's
like,
totally
a great
different.
homie.
It's very different.
Trust me, there's some friends I want.
But I have to say,
Yeah.
I probably the only good example I have of this was me. I was the friend.
Yeah.
Like it was my first job. Yeah, no, my friend. Shout out, Cherish, love you. Back home with the Applebee's that I worked at. Yeah, no, I just went up there and visited her. She was like hosting. I visited her every day, and I just sat at this table for like 12 hours every day of the week. And then finally, they're like, "Do you want a job?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, it was a good fit.
That
I
worked.
did great there. Like I'm a good worker. I know I have like a good work ethic when I'm at work, and I killed it. I did great.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I definitely was a friend. I feel like that's a situation where like it really did work out, but sometimes yeah.
I'll say a new one. Recently, I just had a guy hit me up a few months ago. I want to say like 4 months ago. One of my friends, and he was like, he went through this huge trauma in his life. Like literally had a car accident, had concussions, like he just got kicked out of school, all kinds of stuff going on with him. And he was like, "Yo, I would really need a job. Can I cook for you?" And I was like, I actually have an opening, and he's been one of my better cooks
Yeah.
since he's been put on. Man,
See, but that's the change you take. Sometimes
sometimes you
in
just need
life,
second
people
chances
just need
in
a
life.
chance.
Exactly.
And then it's like, but that's the thing. You don't know that there's people that are not versus do.
Some people just want a job so they can say they have a job and they just half-ass it. Other people want to put in the work and due diligence and stuff.
And you get those people that get a job just to get the fucking
Just for the hours.
Just for the
yeah.
I was gonna say just for like the unemployment for the referral.
Oh,
Ah,
true
true.
that, yeah. That's
Like at my
nice,
job, we have this policy because it was such a bad thing that people would come in and like get applications to take home and like fill them in. Just because for unemployment, I guess you have to turn in
Yeah,
so
you
many
have to be
applications
turning
a
like
week.
Yeah,
like
that's
10
right.
a week or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, some nonsense, which I didn't know until we implemented this policy. Was if you fill out an application, you have to sit down and fill it in the restaurant and give it to the manager. Like you can't take it home and like send it back or something.
Mm.
And they did that because we had so many. It was taking up my manager's time so much that people were just coming in and like doing this.
Yeah.
That it was a whole like policy because like they were just taking up so much of their time talking to these people that were only coming in to try to get the application to like turn back into their unemployment kind of stuff. Which it sucks. It sucks that there's people out there, but you know.
No, it really sucks. The unemployment pays on average better than most jobs do.
No, that's a whole different video.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a whole
We'll
different,
circle back around.
whole different video. Unemployment does pay better.
I know during the quarantine it paid like so good.
So good.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a different video.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of mad at that.
Honestly, it still does pay better on average.
Shit.
It pays better than me.
Plus a stimulus check,
Maybe I work more.
which I haven't gotten yet.
Yeah. Hey Trump, where's
Ain't
your
that-
shit at?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you said you ain't getting the check until he get reelected. So
Well, that's some manipulative bullshit.
yeah.
Why would I elect
Here's
you
my.
to
I've
just
gotten the
get
first
shit?
one yet. Fuck that.
Okay, I got the first one, but
I need a paper check though. I filled my shit out though that way, and I forgot. They
Yeah.
told me the due date for it like a week after it was due. So I was like, that's when I found out. I was like,
wait, what? You had to fill out something?
well, no. When I filed my taxes, I filed it for like a paper check emailed to me for my tax return, and that's how they did stimulus check. And I found out a week after.
You're supposed to get that like in September though.
No, it was from your past 2 years. You did that for the past 2 years.
Yeah, paper check. So I didn't.
Yeah, but where'd your? It should have went to the mailbox that you filled out.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah,
You
that's
should
crazy.
check
Yeah.
into that.
I have. I
Whole
called-
other issue
I
also.
called
Oh, no,
IRS.
issue.
Whole other issue also.
Yeah.
Alright. Steve,
Another issue also.
You got anybody?
that I've hired. Yeah, back to the last place I worked at, I did get a guy a job. Worked out pretty well. I knew a guy. It was one of those like childhood friends I knew who needed a job. Hooked him up with, and it actually worked very well. The guy worked hard. He didn't fuck around. He just basically came in, worked, and
I'm
left.
eating soup, just so you guys know.
hmm The only reason why he didn't work there anymore, he was doing baseball and just broke his arm one day playing baseball game and stuff, and that's kind of how he lost his job. Boss was like, "All right, can you really work?" He's like, "No, I can't really work." Like, "All right, if you get better, come back." And that was it. It's kind of how he lost his job. But until
That sucks.
well, we didn't really lose his job. It was kind of like, if you get better, come back. But yeah, it's understandable. He was like 15, 16 at the time, so it wasn't super
He
bad.
wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
That sucks when it happens to an adult because you're like straight up on your own.
Oh, you're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a dude got the shoulder. Like that was.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Was he a good worker though?
Great
Well,
worker.
yeah, that's nice. That's really nice when like your friends prove you right, 'cause, like you vouch for them, because then it's like it looks so bad on you. I'm so sketchy about getting my friends jobs at the place I work at because I may love you, I just don't necessarily know how you are as a worker type person,
And if they turn out bad, it
and
looks
it
bad
looks
on you.
so
Yeah, it looks
so
so
bad
bad
on
on
you
you.
that you're like. Because my job has this thing where it's like, oh, if you refer someone like on your application and they stay there for like 3 months or something, you get like a $25 like bonus.
What?
Where is this at?
$25
Wait.
ain't that much.
I know, but still.
But no, yeah, no, they have this thing where it's called
Yeah,
like a
that's
head.
alcohol.
It's called like headhunts, where it's like
Yeah,
if
that
you
helps my mental health.
that
Yeah.
if they put you down on an application and they work out and they're good and they stay there for X amount of days, the restaurant just hands you $25, which is not a lot. Like
But
$25
it's
is
nice
shit.
though.
But it's nice. It's a nice gesture. But to me, it's not worth it because I'm like, please don't put me down. I don't, because if you work out, it's like the embarrassment of you not working out is not worth the $25 if you do.
Especially if it's like you don't work out at all. Like you're so like 10 on 10, very bad person to work with. Yeah, that's so. Bad.
Yeah, so it's not worth it. It's
Yeah.
not worth it. Don't put me down.
Yeah.
I don't know you like that.
Anybody got anything else?
I have soup, and it's great. I'm eating soup because I had a really bad mental health day, and I coped with drinking a lot.
Coped, not coke.
Coped. Coped. Copeted with drinking. Which is probably back to the mental health issue. I think
Which I guess circles
it's a
around.
bad restaurant industry kind of thing.
Which I guess circles around to alcohol abuse and drug substance abuse, which we did kind of cover a little bit in an earlier segment in an earlier video, but
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
think we quite covered how
people get into it like
how
in the restaurant
how
industry.
much it is a
a
X, Y,
drive-
and Z.
It is a driving force, yeah. But that's a video for next time.
Yeah, I think next video we should actually talk about like how
bad it can get, or how
just
Intense.
how much it's a crutch that people do,
Reliant.
because I think a lot of people could relate to that it's like you don't realize how,
much you rely on.
and
something
it's
like
not that you want to, it's just like with this industry and stuff you're forced to be, this is the only best coping mechanism kind
It's
of
the
thing.
cheapest coping.
Yeah, it's the best, fastest.
a lot faster
one
than
we
therapy
have.
for sure,
For
especially
sure.
when you hang out with other people who are going through similar issues who can kind of relate to you and give advice that they
Yeah, I
have
mean,
found
if you
throughout their
work
lives.
7 days a week, you're around the same 4 people every single shift 7 days a week. Like, what else are you gonna like? Yeah.
Talk about, yeah. You know a lot of things about people you work with more so than people you live with in those cases.
Oh yeah, I've had coworkers that know more about me than like my parents or my significant other or like anything.
Yeah.
Big facts.
I think people open up to me a lot sooner than they should have.
And
so,
I think it's
yeah.
the biggest problem too is you absolutely hate the people you work with, but you're like, no, well you're here, so we're friends now.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people open up at work and like tell stories and
Yeah.
tell you about stuff all the time.
But people under stress do that.
Yeah,
So
no, they totally do.
Very true.
well, we're doing great. We're about to play 20 questions next. I'm gonna kill it because I feel like my mind is sharp.
Nice. All right.
Is it sharp though?
They do be sharp.
Yeah.
That's not one of my questions. It is. I was trying to get a bonus. I was trying to get a bonus question in. Okay, well guys, we are.
Two cooks.
Two cooks.
And unfortunately, one server.
All right, y'all. See you next time.
Bye.